Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your Ultra Agent of live action awesome superheroes, whatever you'd like to call it. It is X7, the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today is Thanksgiving of 2024, and we got kind of a turkey for the first one. Well, it's not a turkey, you just kind of feel really bad for the monster. Well, I do, but that's just me. And our second one is pretty good. So without much further ado, let's get into it a little bit. Our first episode here is called the Pearl Defense Directive, or Operation Pearl Oyster, or whatever you'd like to transliterate it as. It was first broadcast on October 16th, 1966. It was directed by Akio Jisoji, which is why both of these episodes are directed by Mr. Jisoji, and that's why you see weird close-ups and long distance shots. And the action's sometimes hard to follow. But they always are visually interesting. If the story is not. It begins with Fuji and Ito shopping for pearls. Fuji loves pearls, but pearls are expensive because they're rare right now. Turns out Kamakujira is eating them. And that is, let's see, Gamakujira, which means something whale-ish. Kujira is definitely whale. I'm trying to see if there's anything else about where the name came from. It's eating the oysters. So really the only reason that it's even a thing is because it's eating oysters and they're valuable to people. It's got a water spout that blows from its head. It's kind of like a giant frog. It eats oysters through its tongue, as we'll see. I was trying to find the etymology of the name itself. Toad, Gama, and Kujira. So it's a whale toad. It is a big toad. There you go, Frog. Agent Frog gets a shout out here because this poor thing is going to... it's goofy looking already. I mean, it looks like it's stoned constantly with its eyeballs straight up in the air. It's going to be a short review here because there's not a lot that happens in the episode. There's a lot of talking, some great shots. It's, let me see here, on the island of Iseshima, which is where apparently all the pearls in Japan come from, or maybe the world. And they find it right away and just start shooting at it, the Science Patrol. It wrecks the VTOL there, and here's a nice shot. See, that's one of the clues you can tell Jisoji is at directing. And here's a lovely shot. I don't even think this is a process shot. I think they just had the monster in the background and just shot it that way. Well, kudos. See, just inventive photography. Sometimes he got a little too inventive for his own good, but for the most part, they're always unique. His episodes are always unique looking. And there it is. I mean, it's just they're baying in the sun or the moon or something. See more weird shots so they have to wait. I don't know if they ever got through. Somebody must have rescued them at some point, but they were stuck there because the jet couldn't work. There's a nice. Once again, it looks got Muppet. Essentially, got the Cookie Monster eyes. 3 or 4 years before Cookie ever was a thing, but and it can swim. It looks like a platypus. Once again, dropping bombs on it, and they pick it up carry it through the air in a net. I don't know where they're going to take it. It's just going to come back. Here's a frightened. It attacks the beach. It doesn't even go to the city. These next 2 episodes are pretty. There's not a lot of destruction in them. I mean, a little bit, but they're probably very economically shot. There's no rays from Ultraman in it. There's no. You just don't see too many effect shots in these. Hayata's been wounded. Here's a process shot, which is just really nicely set up. And there he's waddling on the shore, or Toad doesn't even hop. There's his tongue, sucking up the. All the girls had took their valuable pearls to the beach with them for some reason. All the beachgoers. Fuji's yelling for Ayata. They find him right there. It's just a nice looking shot of the beach. I just included it for that. Science Patrol shoots a jet or a rocket into poor old Gamakujira. This is when you start feeling sorry for the monster because it's really just hungry and not doing anything. It's not hurting people. This rocket is powerful enough to lift it into the air using the beta capsule. Look at this. This is another beautiful shot, too. Can't say enough about how inventive Ajisoji's work was, directing work. Using the beta capsule, Hayata becomes Ultraman. And look, it's the Type B mask. No more wrinkles in the face. Interestingly, I was watching Ultraman Mebius and the Ultraman brothers, and Ultraman has the Type A mask on, or face, which I'm like, yeah, it always looked unfinished to me. This is much, I don't know. Perhaps this is the one I saw first, and that's the one I always associate with it. The flying shots look better here. And to stop the monster, Ultraman runs smack into it. It explodes. The end. The pearls come back to, and Fuji can buy some, and then makes Ito shop with her. And this package here starts falling as he's walking, and he's ad-lib. It has to be ad-libbing it because he's afraid it's going to fall, but he stays in character. Nice touch. That's the end of this episode. I can't say it's boring. Sorry. Ultraman, Ultraman, here he comes from the sky. Ultraman, Ultraman, watch our hero fly. So there's a little more snippet there. We go to episode 2, The Terrifying Cosmic Rays. Well, yeah, that's pretty much the best title. So we start out with a drawing of Naranga, and we see Red King, and all the boys. So they're at school. The students are drawing monsters. There's even a VTOL there. So how they know about this is beyond me because that was on an island. And Kanegon from Ultra Q eating money. That was what it was supposed to do. So Ultra Q is tenuously connected to Ultraman, definitely. And then Beethoven. I don't know what kind of monster they think he is unless you have to learn how to play the fifth movement or the ninth symphony, the fifth symphony, but it wasn't a monster. And there's kids looking at this strange bunch of pictures here. So you've got the Bolton. I don't even know some of them. Look at that. Kira or Jiras is there. And they have only done 15 episodes, so they really haven't gotten too many. The Bolton should not be here yet because they have not appeared on Earth. Dun, dun, dun. Although soon they will. We are going to get to they're going to start with some really great episodes coming up here. Some of my favorites. But here's a bunch of kids, and then we've got Gabadon. Gabadon's kind of cute, though, isn't he? Although very plain. This is Gabadon's creator, and I don't even remember what his name is. Let's see. Mushiba, I don't know. Takeshi. So it's just, apparently his drawing skills, he loves monsters, but can't just draw them that well. Took me a while to learn when your humble agent was young. Oh, and now that we're halfway through the episode, please like, share, subscribe, vote in the poll, and leave a comment. And there won't be a poll. We're going to phase the poll out, I think, just except for Fridays maybe, and the days that we can do one. But for the most part, since we're concentrating more on YouTube, we're at 270 subscribers, working our way to 500. And since I'm talking about YouTube, please watch a little longer than normal, than you usually would. If you can, I'd really appreciate it. So there he is committing graffiti with chalk. It washes off. There's a knob owner who just, probably should have asked his permission. He wouldn't have cared. But he draws Gabadon there. And the mysterious cosmic rays bring him to life. for some reason. I don't know that it's ever really talked about. Let me see if I can find anything out about Gabadon. Once again, you can tell it's a Jisoji episode because you've got these shots like this that aren't quite centered. Come on, Ultraman. Gabadon was Teruo Aragaki, but it doesn't give me a link to click on. This was obviously the next week, October 23rd, 1966. And now the kids who they made fun of him, and then now they're going to help him. They're friends. Apparently, they're just giving him crap because that's what kids did back then, and probably still do. I mean, as long as it's not mean constantly. I don't know. Where was the teacher to stop it? And the rays bring Gabadon to life, and it does nothing but leap and waddle. It doesn't have anything to hurt anyone. And there's the science patrol just coming in to blast it for a while. And they bring tanks in. Nothing. It just doesn't move. And then it walks away. The gang's all here, ready to take care of business, TCB. But it just waddles away and disappears. Poof. Star. Dun dun dun. Probably should watch this subtitle. It might be a little better. But I like this episode more than the previous one for sure. So the kids decide we're going to help little Noblet here and make a cool monster. There's the Knob owner who chases him away, missing the fact that they've drawn a pretty decent looking monster here. And now they're waiting. And then the cosmic rays bring Gabadon back to life. But this time he's a lot more formidable looking and scares the Knob owner, who falls over and faints. Then he falls asleep. I mean, he doesn't even do that much until he gets here. He just walks around, and Hayata's trying to save the kids. And this is a real outside shot. He falls down, splashes, using the beta capsule from underwater. Hayata becomes Ultraman. Here's where you get to see him flying more. The new model looks a lot better than the toy they were using previously, and then would use later in the 70s. They just use Bandai toys for flying. It isn't convincing, but it's all right because that's just what it's supposed to represent. And we do get a fight scene here at least. There was no fight scene in the previous episode. None, zip, zero, zilch. Kind of boring, wasn't it? And so he looks there. He's about to, smash him, but he sees the kids. They're all yelling and crying and telling him not to hurt Gabadon. See? And he flies up into the sky and takes him to the Ultra Zone, or the graveyard of monsters. And at the end of the episode, he says, "Don't worry, children. Gabadon's fine. He's safe now in a place he won't cause any damage and can live peacefully." And then you see this, where there's Gabadon and the kids, and he cries. A little teardrop comes down. And now you see them practicing their graffiti on the ground. I'm assuming that's at school instead of, in somebody's, a place where they're a place of business. Where once again, I think the monsters look cool, and that would have been a selling point, but the guy didn't ask me. So there you go. That's our episode. Not long. I mean, there's 2 episodes. We'll get into a little more detail in the next ones because we've got the Science Patrol in space. Speaking of the Bolton Seijin and their wonderful laugh. But we'll go from there. So my humble agents, my fellow agents, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off to the tunes of the Surf Coasters performing the Ultra Q theme.